Shouldn't have any issues with Orisa on Rialto. Surely not, chat. Surely we got this. 18-minute game? Surely we got this. It's in the bag. Also, chat, for the courtesy of other people, I don't think we're doing any parodies or anything tonight, just so that I can try to get through as much of these as possible. So yeah. And we have a community night on Thursday, because that's becoming a thing. So, if you guys want to play some games with everyone else in the community that we basically have been VOD reviewing, feel free to stop by Thursday, and it's going to be the same time as right now, and, you know, we'll have that going. Let's just go back to what's exactly happening. Okay, so we're shooting. I'm noticing that you're kind of shooting and you're wasting your thing. The reload mechanic is very slow, so just try to not shoot so you never have to reload on Orisa. It's gonna feel really good. Javelin spin to push him off would be cool. Especially the Brig right here. You could easily Javelin spin her off if you wanted to. But it looks like we're just backing up. Which you have a Lucio in front of you. You have your Mercy over here. So I don't know what's queuing us to back up, really. You clearly have your support here. If it was just you playing here and you had your supports playing back here, I'd understand it. But you're playing here. And your team's in front of you. So you don't need to back up. It's not necessary. We just literally used all of our abilities, and a couple things. Our Fortify was not needed at all. We didn't take any damage while we weren't Fortify, so our damage reduction got no value. We weren't low, so we didn't need it for the extra health. We basically just kind of wasted our Fortify. So now we're 9 seconds down Fortify, and the enemy team is pressing us. So, yeah, we kind of have to back up, right? Because we don't have a Fortify because we decided to waste it. When we could have used Spear Spin, could have used the other things. Now we just popped all of our abilities at once. Which is also not the best idea, because now we have literally nothing stopping us. On top of that, we have just given the enemy team all of this space. Our team has not died. 1, 2, 3, you have 5 people here. I think the Lucio died, but he came back. And if you have 5 people here, why did you just give the enemy team this corner here? You know? Like, they're pushing through, and they just pushed around this corner, right? Instead of you just sitting here. If you stayed here, payload sits here. And if payload sits here, now you have payload, cover, and even over here to work with on, like, securing yourself some cover and stuff. And this is a big choke. You letting the enemy team push through here means that the enemy team is not going to be in a small confined space like here, or here, or here. And they're going to be basically anywhere. You know, much bigger circle. So I can't just spam abilities in a small area anymore. I have to actually aim. So it's going to be harder for you to actually get any value off of you. And because of that, this payload just pushes on through. You kind of gave the enemy team all this space. You're playing with a Hanzo too. Hanzo needs space. He loves space, and he likes small chokes because he can just shoot his boats of arrows through those, and he can get easy headshots and easy games, and then he can say Hanzo death. You have an Ashe too. She likes space, but you backing up like this is causing the enemy team to take the space, be able to push out your snipers, and your team's not going to be able to do anything. And it's going to be really tough for you if you keep on backing up and letting the enemy team have space. So just stand your ground a couple times. This we're doing a little bit better. Now we're overextended though. So you took your space, and you were holding your space, but why are we going guns blazing into the enemy team instead of just playing right here on this corner, or playing right here, or even playing this side of payload? You didn't need to run straight into the enemy team. You have pushed them back. Congratulations, back to this small little choke area again for the Hanzo to easily shoot and hit arrows. And now that the enemy team's pushing through, it's going to be harder for this Hanzo to hit the arrows, so it's going to be, you know, rough. So now we swap to Zarya. I mean, Zarya's going to have more kill potential than an Orisa. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, no. Alright, let's just slow this down. Slow this down real quick. We have a couple targets here. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say you were trying to bubble your Lucio here because he is low. And I would say, Hunter, that's a great idea. Now, the problem is, Lucio is blessing the rains down in Africa. And because of that, you're not going to be able to hit a bubble. Not only that, you have an Ashe standing in front of him. So the game's probably going to want you to bubble the Ashe. Especially because Lucio's out of range. So instead of you even considering using this bubble, just try to get closer so you're not bubbling an Ashe for nothing. Then you bubble the Lucio, but as you can see, yes, he was low. No one is shooting at the Lucio. And he has a Mercy on him, and he's retreating. No one's near him. So I would say there's a 50% chance that this Lucio actually gets out. And so you don't need to bubble him. Now we have no bubbles, and we have no other option but to go in. But you really shouldn't, because right now my Zarya has 5 charge, and so you can't do anything here. You just kind of bubbled yourself off a cooldown, so now you still have no bubbles. And now you have 40 charge, so at least that's something. But you don't have any bubbles, so you can't even play aggressive right now. You kind of have to just sit and either sit over there, or you have to sit here. But you can't really do anything because you don't have your bubbles yet, and you have to wait. And it's all because you wasted your first 2 bubbles. So then, yeah, we give him the payload because you decide to stand here, which doesn't contest cart, instead of here, which can, or here, which can. You chose the worst spot. Unlucky. Now you know better that playing here is going to be better for you. Not to mention you can run back and grab a Mega if you really need it, and someone can stall for you. Big unlucky. And now you are, now you're basically fighting the team. So instead of you doing what you were doing just now, we know we're going to die. So this payload is moving while we're still alive. So we're going to die here anyways. So while we're dying here, this payload is just going to be constantly moving. So it's not really going to be doing anything for us to just keep on running out. Your best idea, because you know you're not going to make it out alive, is to just stay on cart and try to stall the cart as long as possible. So at least the payload's going to be here when you die instead of like a few inches forward. Obviously this doesn't matter too much, but imagine if you were someone that was really good at getting away and your pathing, instead of going here, you went like here, and you were still managing to get away, and you get to like, I don't know, here before you die. Well, if you get to here before you die, chances are the payload's going to be like here. And if the payload was here, it's like 10 meters that the payload just pushed because you didn't choose to just die on point, you know, and get a reset going. And, you know, it is potentially a stagger. So if you know you can't get out of the fight and you're playing defense, die on the cart. It's probably your best idea. Because at least you're getting a stall out, you know? At least your death is worth something. So on Zarya, it looks like the big thing we're missing is the bubble usage. We're just not really bubbling the people that we need to. That's a good bubble. I'm okay with that. Something else we need to talk about. When to use your beam and when to use your projectiles. So if I'm playing back here, 18 charge, I should just be right-clicking over here and trying to hit with my projectiles, because I'm not going to be able to do anything with my beam here. My beam is not going to reach anyone. I should just be hitting my projectiles, trying to get some value out, trying to make them scared because they're taking damage. You are using a beam. It's not really going to do anything. And the beam is also for consistent damage, not for burst damage. Consistent damage. We're full health and we just kind of pop the bubble. We do get a little bit of charge off of that, surprisingly. But if I was someone, I just wouldn't be shooting the Zarya. I would have just stopped shooting. But your enemy Orisa is just like playing Orisa with the brain off, so they're just holding down mouse 1. No one was really shooting at you other than the turrets, so popping bubble there was kind of useless too. Yeah, reload before you engage after poking with right click so you don't go in with 35 bullets. That's a good idea too, for sure. We must strike them down. Alright, now we actually have some... oh, wait. Damage combo is Zarya. You want to be using your beam, and then you want to be using your right click, and then going back to your beam and using your right click. It's going to be the fastest way to kill someone because you're going to be doing consistent damage, and then a huge burst from your right click, and then consistent, and then a huge burst from your right click, right? So when you're fighting something like this brig, all right, so we're shooting, and then if you right click here, I mean, you do use the beam a lot, but you could have definitely right-clicked her, and then beamed, and then right-clicked. And I think right-click does more damage than the beam, too. I think the beam's just more consistent. But she's so close, you easily could have just right-clicked, and probably even melee'd. Right-click melee'd her, and she probably would have died, you know? We don't know the Zarya beam combo, and not gonna lie, our tracking is a little sus. So I think we honestly might even get more value from the right clicks because the right clicks at least have a spread to it. So there's going to be a little more damage just because we're at least close. The beam, it's either all or nothing. Like you're either hitting them with it or you're missing. No in between. Targeting Orisa while she's using her ultimate's kind of pointless unless you have a Bastion or something. Did you just... Oh, so we just walked all the way off point, so they just C9 us too. That's great. Instead of us having some structure, actually holding a corner, you know, as we should. All that jazz. Here we just need to group up. We don't have a team together. Oh, we have a lot of tunnel vision, don't we? Sometimes you need to take into account, is it worth chasing certain things? And if your character is not really that mobile, chances are you can probably find value elsewhere. Why do we not have our bubbles? There we go, 73. I was wondering where the numbers were. Yeah, silver 3. Yeah, right-click and Zarya is better when with more people in it too. That's true. You're kind of pushing the enemy spawn here, which is kind of pointless. That was a waste of a bubble. No one was shooting at you. And you're at like full charge, so I don't know why exactly you're using it to gain charge when you just need to use it to stay alive. But I guess you were panicking, so beam on Orisa is not really gonna kill her. Stop focusing the Orisa, you're not gonna kill her. Giving the enemy team a bunch of space for no reason when you're an 85 charge full health Zarya. Giving the enemy team all this space like this is just letting them push into you, and you're clearly backing it up like Shakira into your supports, and they're just blowing up because of it. So just don't do that. Just don't do that, Forehead. Tank players from bronze to gold need to stop backing up. I promise you, if you stop backing up when you're on defense, the enemy team is going to be like, oh shoot, they're not backing up anymore. This looks really strange. And then they're going to freak out, and then they're going to not know what to do when you're not backing up anymore, and you're just going to absolutely destroy them. And it's going to be beautiful. Alright, let's go. Let's see how the Zarya goes on attack. Okay, so Zarya wasn't working out. We said, nah. How about Reinhardt? Now, Reinhardt's actually not terrible on Rialto. It's one of his better maps. Fighting a Sombra is definitely not what you want to be doing with Reinhardt. Yeah. No, a lot of tunnel vision. You know, it works out. Don't know what exactly works out. I guess we just have a good attacking team. Or the enemy team also suffers from just backing it up like Shakira. Which we're just gonna call Shakiratism. I guess, for lack of a better word. If you guys have a better word that you want to coin it, feel free. But that's what I'm coming up with for now. Unlucky with the missed pins. Don't fire strike when you're 50 health. You should be keeping track of your health before you consider doing any of your abilities. And if your health is below 200, then you should not be using that ability. You can block rock. You can shatter the Sigma using kinetic grasp, which actually did one of the easier things to hit with Reinhardt. Don't walk in the lava. Don't walk in the lava. Yeah, the lava there is not good. Okay, cool. Sombra decided to throw. Shatter. Could have shattered. Now we know Moira has no fade, so we can shatter even harder. Now we can shatter. There we go. That's something. Yeah, unlucky. Reinhardt's doo-doo, so he just can't kill anyone in shatter alone. Big sad. And looks like that tank's just gonna keep on suffering from Shakiratism, so, you know, kudos to you guys. This is exactly what defense is. Shakiratism in a nutshell, chat. If you want heals faster, the payload does heal you when you're on attack. Oh! Alright, so clearly this Reinhardt is pinning in, and he's going all the way here. You're in a predicament where you could actually punish the Reinhardt, because we know he doesn't have pin. So he has no counter pin. And he's close to us, which means we just pin where he's pathing, which is backwards. And if we pin this way, we pin him into this, like, tree here or something, and now he's isolated, and we can probably kill the Reinhardt, right? So he's backing up, and we know he's backing up, so we can just pin behind him, and we'll catch him in this pin every time. And if he chooses not to back up and stays in front, well, now he's spending more time engaged in the enemy, breaking a shield, and he might just die because he's in a few inches out of position because you forced him to be out of position because of the pin. So you just pin behind him here. Instead, what do? Spend a couple times swinging on him. Now he's already in a good position, and now you're pinning into a wall because you didn't pin behind him. Unlucky. You got more coalescence, and your healing is difficult for that. You're running straight into a shotgun. You're fire striking the ground. You could have counterpinned that. Luckily, you didn't lose anyone to that. We have a shatter here, but we're not going to hit the shatter. No, we don't feel like shattering. Probably could have gotten a team wipe. Probably would have easily pushed it in. Instead, we're kind of standing on lava, so that's just really tough for us. Ooh. wasted both of our abilities at the same time. If you're using Spear Spin, Fortify is not going to be needed. Yeah, I mean, that's just ability rotation, right? If you're using your abilities out of sync with each other, it's just not going to go well. I'm not going to save Lucio. Then we use all of our abilities to back it up like Shakira. When the payload is slowly pushing towards us, if you just stayed here and Lucio died, whatever. He's going to spawn back in, and by the time you're stalling it out, you're going to be A-okay. But now you're here and you're like, well, shoot, I don't have any abilities. I don't know what to do. Now I'm backing up. And this, my friend, is a stagger. You didn't need to do it. You decided to run out into an open area where there's no cover instead of just playing cover, playing part, surviving. Mercy's going to be dumb. She's going to res you. So now we're going to be staggered more. We decide, you know what? We're going to actually stall payload, which is good. I prefer you do this. This is actually the good stuff. Now, because you were standing basically on top of a Winston bubble, it made it really difficult for you. But your team's kind of pulls out on top anyways, and you probably could have done that exact same thing if you instead just played, like here, you know, so that the cart didn't move so far, right? Just wasted all of our abilities again, so we can't do anything, so our team's gonna push in without us. Using Fortify when you're not taking any pressure. Not using Spear Spin when you're clearly taking pressure. Spear on the bat. That was a good boop. Proud of the boop. So, I like how in the last... I think the last 30 seconds of this entire VOD is probably the best we have played. And I kind of just wish we played like that the entire time. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, basically, if you just play like you played in overtime, I think you would do a lot better. But as we clearly see, you just keep backing it up way too much.